Hello! So as you can see, I'm back with another book haul. I've been collecting quite a few books since the beginning of the year, and I have yet to show them to you guys. I have yet to open some of these books, so fingers crossed that I received everything I ordered. I've been really bad at tracking everything lately, so hopefully when I open these boxes I can go back to my online orders and see that everything is there. I also got a few books for free, and then some books I ordered myself, so I don't know what we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see a bit of everything today, so most likely like the normal stuff that I order: fiction, non-fiction, French Riviera books, and art crime books, as well as dark academia, biographies, memoirs. Most likely that's usually what I go for, so I'm sure the books that I ordered in the last few months will reflect that. So let's get into it. First thing I have is this bag with books from Indigo, and I actually see one non-bookish item, and it's these ink cartridges. I use these for the fountain pens that I write with every single day when I do my morning pages and when I write in my journal and other stuff, so I really need to order some more. I usually order the black ink, sometimes I'll order the blue ink, but most likely I like to write in black. So okay, I think I'm gonna put this down now because it's just like too much. It's too invasive in my personal space, so put this down. So first book that I got is Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry. It's his memoir, the book that was released before he passed, and I obviously want to read this, and I really am saddened by the news as him as a person, and you know, the struggles he overcame. Part of me really believes I'm going to relate to this as someone who struggled with substances, so I am really glad that we actually still have something from him, and I'm definitely going to listen to the audiobook in his own narration. But yeah, I think I'm just not ready to read it anytime soon. That's why I never hauled it, like, or showed it in the haul. I think it's going to take me a few more months before getting into this one, because as much as I'm like sober and all that stuff, all that fun stuff in the last 2 years and whatnot, as much as I turned my life around and, you know, overcame most of my struggles and whatnot, it's still very triggering. I feel like as soon as I consume a lot of media with the similar stuff, it like triggers something in me. So I'm still not at that point yet in my life, so I have to be conscious, especially when it comes to real life accounts. So I'm being careful, and I'm, you know, valuing my mental health, especially when on the days or the months where I don't feel as 100% in shape. So yeah. The next book that I got is Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and I actually just finished reading this book this morning. It was actually so good. I don't know, like, it just scratched that itch of something that I wanted, and like, it was just very compelling, and I'll talk about it in a reading vlog. But yeah, I wanted to haul this because I actually did read this. I just read it on my Kindle, so I wanted to haul the physical book as well. And yeah, this was my first Ali Hazelwood, and I enjoyed it, but I'll talk about it on a reading vlog. Then I got All This Twisted Glory by Tara Mafi, and this is the third book in her series that's like a retelling of Persian myth, like the Shahnameh myth, and as you guys know, I'm Persian, so I still have to read Shahnameh, and then as soon as I read Shahnameh, I'm gonna read this series. But I've been collecting the books because I just want to have them for the day that I do decide, like, maybe I wake up one day, I want to read a Shahnameh and I want to read this series. So I really love to have it on hand, and this is book 3. I don't know if she's gonna continue this series beyond book 3, but this cover is absolutely stunning. Tahira Mafi is just so lucky with her cover designers, because wow, I don't know what happened this last year and a half, but I've been the most single and the most like alone, like not surrounded by a lot of love or a lot of people. And partially it was for my healing journey, and partially it's because I want to make sure that I have the right people around me. I obviously still have really good friends that I see here and there, but like I've been really single, not dating, not on the dating apps, nothing like that. But somehow, like, my brain or my heart craves reading romance books, and I love it because it reminds me back in the days when I used to read a lot of Wattpad when I was younger, and I wrote a romance book. My first book was like a little romance Wattpad book. Anyways, so I got this book because I watched the movie last year, and it's the second and third book of this Spanish series, and it's called My Fault, but this book is Your Fault and Our Fault by Mercedes Ron. And I'm hoping that the second movie is going to drop this year because I really liked the first one. It was so good. I almost rewatched it right after I finished it the first time. So I want to read the first book. I have it somewhere on my shelf, but I also ordered the second and third book because they just got released in English, so I had to order them. And yeah, I'm just like so excited to read more romance for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but I've been so single, guys. Like, it's actually terrifying. Like, I actually am terrified of dating and meeting people, but like I don't know, I think I'm just not ready yet. I am not ready. I've been through a lot. My last relationship was just like so up and down, hot and cold, back and forth for so long, and like it's finally done over. And I kept saying that for the longest time, but now it's really like, you know, it's really hard. I'm in my mid-20s. It's hard to like be alone. It's hard to like not really have that many friends, but like I enjoy it because I love my alone time. But I know that it's like a risky thing to like continue just always being alone, because then I will never have and hold the space for other people in my life again. But in the past I hold too much space. Now I'm like not holding any space, so I need to like find a balance at some point. But like, ma'am, this is a book haul, so let's shut up. Then I got A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. I just know that Ava Reid is going to be my favorite author, and I haven't read her book yet, but I know her new book is coming out in August. It's a retelling of Macbeth. It's called Macbeth. I pre-ordered that. I just have a feeling I'm gonna love it. Macbeth is one of my favorite Shakespeare's plays ever since I was a kid. And yeah, A Study in Drowning is basically like everything that I love in a book. It's like fairies, it's dark academia, academic rivals, I believe. And I just got my audiobook loan for this book, so I am so excited to read it finally. I was waiting for this audiobook for months, so I knew I had bought the book and I had it on my haul pile, but I was like, there's no point of hauling it because I'm still waiting for the audiobook. So it's good that the audiobook came in, and it's good that I read Bride, because now I have incentive to like sit down and film a video and show you all the books that I got in the last few months. So yeah, that's A Study in Drowning. Then I got this book. I don't know which channel was talking about this book. It's probably, sometimes when I get recommended literary fiction, it's mostly through Instagram, and it's called A Lover's Discourse by Zhou Gyo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The cover is stunning. Now, let me read you the blurb. It says here, when a Chinese woman moves to London to pursue a PhD, she is confronted with a country in political turmoil. She knew she would be lonely adrift in the city, but she meets a man with whom she can see herself building a future. Will her new relationship bring her closer to this land she has chosen, and will their love give her a home? A Lover's Discourse is a love story told through fragments of conversations between two lovers, as the couple try to negotiate a life that will satisfy them both, whether on an unmoored houseboat or in a stifling apartment. Gyo plays with language and cultural differences against the backdrop of post-Brexit Britain. That just sounds so good and lovely, so yeah, I'm going to pick it up when I am in the mood for some more love, but that's more like literary fiction. I got Essays Volume 2 by Lydia Davis, and I have Volume 1, and I started Volume 1 and I really like it, so I just thought when I saw Volume 2 for a good price, I was like, I'm gonna just order it. And I really want to get into essays and short stories again. I feel like since being away from school and my undergrad and university and my master's, I feel like I've lost that touch of like being super interested in articles, essays, and even short stories even. So I really want to get back into that genre because I read a lot of fiction, nonfiction, and poetry, but that's the genre that I feel like I'm lacking in, so I'm slowly getting myself back into that. Okay, and the last book that I have here is Saga Volume 11, and I cannot wait to read this. I don't know how I did not pick this up already, because I usually always pre-order these and I read them right away when I get them, but I guess I'm just like not ready and I want to take my time, because in the last few years the Saga graphic novels have been coming out very slowly. It's like speeding up again, but you know what I mean? So I just want to like relish in it, and I guess I'm just procrastinating because I also didn't read the new Heartbreaker graphic novel, so I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe now that I've hauled it and I'm gonna put it on my shelves, I'm gonna see it more often and probably gonna pick it up at some point when I feel like it. I just don't want to pick it up just to read it. I want to pick it up when I'm in the mood to read it and in the mood to like consume the story, if you know what I mean. You know, it doesn't mean that it's a graphic novel that you should just pick it up, read it quickly and like get over it. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to enjoy things nowadays. I don't want to just pick up things for the sake of picking them up and for the sake of saying I read that, you know? And I think that's a realization that a lot of people are coming to, especially with book talk and booktube right now and the state of things. Okay, so now let's get into the packages. So this is the first package. I have no idea what's in here, but I assume that it's good. Yes, it is. Oh my god. I remember I ordered this at the beginning of January. I really wanted to read this. It's Mrs. K by K. Patrick, and I heard that this is such a good dark academia book. I had seen a lot of people read and rave about this. It says, in an elite English boarding school where the girls kiss the marble statue of the famous dead author who used to walk the halls, a young Australian woman arrives to take up the antiquated what the hell? Hold on. My English is not Englishing because my French is coming out. Antiquated. I know it's I know how to say it. I don't know why my... Antiquated. Okay. Antiquated. This is the struggle of a trilingual. Arrives to take up the antiquated role of matron. That was such a struggle. That's actually so sad. Anyways, within this landscape of immense privilege, she finds herself unsure of her role, her accent, and her body. Her accent and her body? Girl, me too, me too. I feel like I'm gonna love this, okay? I feel like I am going to love this one. And then I got this copy of Elvis and Me. As you can see, I got this like a few months ago when the movie came out. It's by obviously Priscilla Beaulieu Presley, and I just love this copy so much. It's just so pretty. Look at this mass market paperback. You will normally never catch me pick up a mass market paperback, but it's just so gorgeous. Like, I don't know why, it just feels like old school. And she's such a stunner. She's such a looker. Like, look at her. She's so pretty. Wait. There you go. I think everyone knows what this is about. It's about Priscilla's life and how she met Elvis and whatnot. So I want to read this so I can finally watch the movie. And honestly, unintentionally, these two books like kind of go together in the scheme, like color scheme and the white backdrop. But yeah, I'm so excited. I can't believe it feels like a gift from me, from past me to future me to present me. Crazy. But yeah, I love book hauls. I love like just having books to open. Although I have not been ordering that many books, these are books that have been sitting here for months. Those of you who watch the channel from the past know that I used to order books like this every like 2-3 weeks. So I'm doing pretty good. And I'm trying to be more conscious with the book that I purchase online. We have the next book here. I have no idea where is it from, who is it from. Okay, I was sent this, but this looks so good. It's called The Nature of Disappearing by Kimi Cunningham Grant, and it's on sale June 18th, 2024. So I love covers that have nature on it, and I feel like if it's a thriller or a survival tale, I'm gonna love it. So it says, Emmeline doesn't let herself think about the past. How she and her best friend Janessa barely speak anymore. How Tyler, the love of her life, left her half dead on the side of the road 3 years ago. Maybe this is a sequel, but this looks good. Her new life is simple and safe. She lives alone in her Airstream trailer and works as a fishing and hunting guide in scenic Idaho. Her closest friends are the community's makeshift reverend and a handsome Forest Service ranger who took her in at her lowest. Okay, this looks cool. Actually, this looks pretty good. I want to see if this is the first book in a series or a second book, because it feels like it might be a series or it's either a standalone book. So I don't know, but it sounds really good and it sounds like it's going to be very quick to read. Okay, next book. Oh, this is so exciting. I've been waiting for this book. It took forever to ship and my excitement just like waned. But it's called Okay Days by Jenny Mustard, and I follow her on YouTube and on Instagram, and it just looks so good. It says here, Sam is 28, Swedish, carefree and chaotic. During a work placement in London over the course of the 3 sticky summer months, she falls hard for Lucas, a man she first met as a teenager. Lucas, 27, sensitive and calm, is trying to get a foothold in the adult world while struggling to hold the pieces of his life together. Sam is a gorgeous distraction, but can you only avoid reality for so long? And both Sam and Lucas know their relationship can't last. Nobody can be this happy forever, surely. Okay Days tells the story of the rise and fall of Sam and Lucas' affection for each other while looking unflinchingly at male body dysmorphia, women's reproductive rights, and the pitfalls of modern love. When is okay good enough, and what are we willing to lose in the search for a life that is much better than just okay? This sounds really good, and this sounds like it's inspired by the author's life, but I might not be too sure. It might be some points of inspiration because she's also Swedish and is living in London. I'm not too sure. So yeah, I can't wait to check this one out. Okay, we have this next box here from Chapters. Oh, it just opened by itself. All right. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you about this. I pre-ordered this like 2 years ago. It was supposed to come last year and then it got pushed. It says 14 Days, a collaborative novel edited by Margaret Atwood and Douglas Preston. So I believe this is 14 stories about the pandemic by different authors, and they all live in this like apartment complex. So it says, as a pandemic sweeps the globe and New York locks down in March of 2020, the rich quickly flee the city for the relative safety of their country homes. For the left behinds, a group of residents in a rundown lower Manhattan apartment building. The only fresh air to be found is on the rooftop, where the tenants begin gathering every night. At first, they cheer at 7 p.m. for the essential workers, then immediately retreat to their phones and books, private and prickly as any self-respecting New Yorkers. But little by little, they start to open up and to tell their stories. This sounds so good and so cute. So I'm so happy that I finally got this, and I've been waiting for it since like I think maybe 2021, end of 2021 or 2022. So it's been a long time coming, and I can't wait to read it. And obviously I trust Margaret Atwood, and although she's not just the solo author, I'm sure that she made sure that everything was coherent and nicely fit together. So yeah, I can't wait to read the 14 stories. And I don't know, I have like this obsession with like pandemic novels, pandemic literature, and although it's been like 4 years since the pandemic, I feel like this is the first year where I'm not really involved in pandemic literature, but I think at some point I'm going to want to go back because I have a novel that has like pandemic themes and tones. So yeah, I'm definitely going to read this when I get back to that novel sometime, maybe next year. Alright, let's go to the next book. No. My cat just saw this and he's getting crazy for it. Silas, no. Okay, here. I give it to him. Ooh. I totally forgot about this book. It's the third and final book in the Atlas 6 trilogy by Olivia Blake, and it's the Atlas Complex. Okay, I am still reading the Atlas 6, but once I'm done, I'm gonna pick up the second and the third book. So I had to get them. I think Indigo had like exclusive covers, but I'm not too sure. But this cover looks so stunning. Okay, next box. I got Hereafter by Amy Lynn, and this is a memoir. I've been following the author on Instagram for many years, and this follows her life as her husband passes away, and it's just a very really hard story. And I remember reading her Instagram captions and really feeling for her, and I'm just so happy for her that she has published this, and you know, a lot of people have been reading this and knowing her story. It says, Amy Lynn never expected to find a love like the one she shares with her husband Curtis, a gifted young architect who pulls her towards joy, adventure, and greater self-acceptance. On a sweltering August morning, only a few months shy of the newlyweds move to Vancouver, 32-year-old Curtis heads out to run a half marathon with Amy's family. It is the last time she sees her husband alive. What follows is a rich and unflinchingly honest account of her life with Curtis and the vortex created by his death. Hereafter is an intimate story of deep love followed by dizzying loss, a memoir so finely etched that its power will remain with you long after the final page. This book is really going to hit hard, so if you are interested in stories about grief and memoirs, pick this one up, and I am getting ready to read it when I'm in a better place, because right now, I don't know, I just feel very teary-eyed all the time. So I think it's like this change of the season that happens to me sometimes where I feel like a little bit more unstable than usual. So I'm going to keep the grief stories for a later date, but this is definitely an important read, and I obviously had to support her, and I had been following her for a few years now, so I'm just really happy for her that she got to tell her story. Okay, so we're almost done, and this is like one of the last boxes. I feel like I know what this is, and it's a duology. I got both Divine Rivals and Rootless Ends by Rebecca Ross, and these are just amazing academic rival books that everyone loves, fantasy, and I just really am excited to read it. I know I like missed the hype train and everyone has read this, but I just placed my audiobook loans for both of these books, and like they're taking forever, so it's been quite a few months now that I'm waiting, but once they come in, I'm finally going to be able to read this, and it just sounds like a beautiful story. It says here, after centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again, but 18-year-old Iris Winnow just wants to hold her family together. Her mother is suffering from addiction and her brother is missing from the front lines. Her best bet is to win the columnist promotion at the Oak Gazette. To combat her worries, Iris writes letters to her brother and slips them beneath her wardrobe door, where they vanish into the hands of Roman Kit, her cold and handsome rival at the paper. When he anonymously writes Iris back, the two of them forge a connection that will follow Iris all the way to the front lines of battle for her brother, the fate of mankind, and love. Divine Rivals is an epic enemies to lovers fantasy novel filled with hope and heartbreak and the unparalleled power of love. Sounds so amazing, and these covers are like literally one of the most stunning covers I've ever seen in my life. Can't wait. I hope I love it as much as everyone else did. I hope you enjoyed this book haul. I hope you found some new interesting reads or some new authors to check out. Let me know if this is the first time you've heard of some of these books. I had a lot of dark academia books, which is very on brand for me, and I'm so excited to read them. And yeah, I just am excited to get back into reading and writing. It feels like such a relief to not have boxes laying around anymore, and I was really excited to see what everything was, because obviously you forget after a time what you had ordered. So yeah, I'm just trying to be more conscious with how I purchase and buy things, with books especially, because that's the only thing I do purchase and buy. So yeah, but it does bring me a lot of joy, and I have been reading a lot. It balances itself out, and honestly I never feel guilty or bad for ordering books. Like, I know it's bad, but I don't ever feel guilty for that. So that's my one pride and joy, and it's gonna remain like that for the rest of my life, so might as well just be happy. You know, I don't feel the need anymore to go on a book buying ban. I make sure that I don't overspend, overbuy, or buy too many books at once. So it's a conscious effort. I know my birthday is gonna come up, so don't hold me to that when my birthday comes around. And I also have books that I never showed on my channel that I had got from thrift stores. I'm going to film those and show those at some point, but they've just been collecting dust a little bit for the last 1 or 2 years, and whenever I want to pick up one of those books, I just pick them up and read them and show them anyways. So yeah, those are gonna come at some point, but right now I just wanted to show these books that I've been holding on here, and I'm just really excited to read all these books. Obviously I'm gonna put everything in the description so you can go and check everything out. Let me know, what's the last book that you bought, what's the last book that you enjoyed, and what are some books that you recommend, because although I have so many books, I still take recommendations. Feel free to like, subscribe, and follow along everywhere. All my channels are linked down below, and I'll see you on the next bookish video. Bye!